Hello, we're going to take a look at the ECO 8000, which is the latest automatic changeover unit from Tektronix. The ECO 8000 is a 1RU product coming in two versions. The ECO 8000, which is a up to 9 channel configuration, and the ECO 8020, which is a 20 channel configuration. The user can choose a variety of different types of channel card which can be fitted within the ECO. The ECO operates on a primary and backup system used in conjunction with an SPG 8000, one as the primary reference signal generator and the secondary backup SPG 8000. So that if an error occurs on one of the channels, then the unit will automatically switch to the backup. So in this case, we've shorted out the video on one of the channels and it's created an error, and that is shown as an error that's occurring on channel 3. The unit is automatically switched from the primary to the backup once it detected that error. We're going to remove the short from the connection. You can now see that the light changes from red to amber, indicating that there was a problem, but there now is no longer a problem. The unit doesn't change from the backup in this particular condition. It remains in its same particular location until the user decides to make a change. To make that change, we simply enable the front panel, and then once the panel is enabled, we'll switch it to manual to allow us to reset the configuration. Once we reset the configuration, both lights on the channel that we're using at the moment go green. Then the user can choose to make that switch back to the primary. And now we're back in the primary, switch to automatic mode again, and we're now in our normal operation condition using the primary SPG 8000 as our master sync and clock reference signal. So here in these configurations you can see that you can configure the ECO to act as the switch for a variety of different conditions. As we said, we've got up to 9 channels in the ECO 8000, and in this case we've got only one active channel that we're monitoring. The rest of the channels are not being used to trigger the alarm condition in this case, and you can flexibly choose which channels are enabled or disabled in the configuration menu. The standard unit comes with 3 H-reference 50 MHz fast switching backup relay channels. Each of these units has the option of adding a redundant power supply. So this particular system operates with the DPW option for a dual power supply. And you can decide which power supply is active by both of the lights being bright green, and the secondary one is in backup mode, so it's basically in a sleep configuration at this time. The Tektronix backup system will wake up this power supply once a day to see that it's still alive and it can be used fully operational if the first power supply was to fail. And we're going to pull out the power supply and it automatically switched to the backup one with no disturbance or loss of power to the unit itself. We're now going to plug back in the power supply. You can see the red light is on as the power supply turns on and puts the DC connections, and then once the power is fully operational it will return to the primary power supply. By using this kind of methodology to just test the power supply daily to see if it's operational in this backup configuration, that allows us to save the life of the backup power supply so that it's available only when needed and it's not continually running all the time in the backup operation. Here we have the back panels of the SPG 8000 in a master and backup configuration with the ECO 8000 in the middle. As you can see, it has 9 channels, and each of these channel configurations is a primary, a backup connection, and the output. In the standard base configuration, there are 3 channels that are available, and then additional 3 channel options can be added, such as additional reference options, which are the relay fast switching, electronic fast switching connections, which minimize the disturbance of the changeover and also provide backup if the power is lost by the relay switching in and just switching the channel output to one of the specific primary or backup channels, whichever is selected. In the HREF option, we have the 3 GHz bandwidth channels, which are just relay switched, and these are suitable for SDI type signals such as ST, HD, and 3 gigabit. In this configuration, you can see the Ethernet port is right here. This allows us to connect directly to a web user interface. Just connect, obtain an IP address, and put that into your favorite browser application, and it will download a Java web user interface that allows you to control the unit or view the status of the system. An expansion port is also available that allows you to connect this to another ECO and double the number of channels that are available. The GPI function can be used for triggers of input and output alarms, and the additional 15-pin connectors are used for LTC input and outputs. At the far end, we have the dual power supply in this particular case, so the 2 power supplies are connected here, and then you can hot swap them at the front panel. So that gives you a basic overview of the rear panel of the ECO 8000. Here is the 1RU chassis of the ECO 8020. As you can see, it has mini HD BNCs on the rear panel, and it fits up to 20 channels within this configuration. The HD BNC connector is exactly like a regular BNC, except much smaller. You can see the difference in size, but the operation of the connector is exactly the same. It locks in place by a twist and a turn, so we can connect it directly to the ECO 8020 and lock it directly in place, and then use the optional cables that are available to connect it to the standard SPG interface that's using standard BNC cables. So in this way, we can connect up to 20 channels in this configuration, or with the expansion port we can double that to 40 channels in the ECO 8020.